Man, take a look at those almighty V-fin and tell me if that isn't the angriest robot you've seen in a while. The Xingfengshe Windam is the bootleg version of Bandai's high-grade Cosmic Era Windam. If built properly and cleaned up well, it is almost indistinguishable from the brand kit. That doesn't mean that it doesn't come with its own set of issues. So let's take a closer look. Hi everyone and welcome to MechaShark Hobby. Today we're taking a look at the bootleg model kit Jet Windam by Xingfengshe. A bit about Xingfengshe, they're relatively new to the scene, just barely a year old if I remember correctly, but they're making a speedrun to be the contender for high-grade top dog with what I feel like one new release every other week. Now a bit about the kit. Both the Bandai and XFS box says Windam, but it's actually the Jet Windam variation. That means that this is the GAT-04 Windam combined with a Jet Striker backpack. This is a grunt mobile suit that is supposedly the mass-produced improvement of the dagger from Seed Destiny. But I find that the design bears more resemblance to the Justices, a mass-produced Afron suits, I would say. For a bootleg kit that came out in 2024, the build experience would be above average in my opinion. It closely follows the Bandai kit, but the snap fit is a hit or miss, and they vary wildly. Certain parts like the leg take a bit of force to push them together snug and tight. Of course, it is made from ABS plastic, as almost all bootleg kits are, which make it stress quite easily. You can see the stress marks on the dark blue and gray sections, which can be improved if you spend the time to sand it down a bit. Polycaps are alright, though I feel like they're a bit softer than Bandai's, which will lead to joints loosening up really fast. The gates are rather large in certain areas, and the placement of the gates themselves are questionable, but this is also an issue that I had with the original kit. There is a massive sheet of stickers. Most of it is reserved for the backpack. I used it once for the Bandai kit, but not gonna use it again here though. Visually, this kit is gorgeous. Aside from the V-fin, there's nothing too over the top. Clean and minimalistic. Although I wouldn't mind having a bit more surface detail and panel lines here and there. It's got a signature Cosmic Era Seed Destiny look with those sharp 60 and 30 degree angles in the designs and a killer proportion to back it up. The backpack is wide with a signature silhouette that is quite similar to the high-grade Cosmic Era Infinite Justice Phantom 1. The beam rifle is a standard two-piece sandwich with a rather unique look. We also have a unique long shield with crab pincers at the pointy end. Also, a pair of standard beam sabers. The Jet Windam's articulation is pretty decent. The Windam by itself is very mobile, but in certain areas the armors will get in the way. With all the equipment and backpack on, the motion range gets limited quite a bit. The head can spin a full 360, shoulders also spinning a full 360, upper arm spins a full 360. The elbow is a single joint, so it does not get a full parallel fold. The wrist is the standard ball joint, side skirt is a standard C-clip which can wiggle a bit. The thighs can swing sideways to a range of about 75 degrees. The knees are double jointed which can fold up real nice and tight all the way. At the lower legs you have two jet boosters that can swivel back and forth to a limited range. An ankle is a standard ball joint which gets the job done for a ball joint. Ab crunch is barely anything at all, you might consider it a fixed ab. And the entire backpack can swivel up and down and the wings can fold to a range of about 91 degrees. Here we have the XFS Windam spinning next to Bandai's Windam. Given that the parts are cut, clean and assembled properly, you can see that it's almost a one-to-one matchup in the visuals department. Here it is again with the upper body, close up, take a look for yourself. As I mentioned in the build section, snap fit is a hit or miss, but on average, I would rate the snap fit ability above average. There are other fitting issues, however. First of all, the ball joints at the neck, wrists, and shoulders are quite loose, which makes it hard to hold a pose that involves those joints. The shoulders in particular. Once you've attached a shield and beam rifle, it cannot hold itself up since it gets too heavy for the shoulders. The polycaps at the side skirts tend to fall off. The beam saber hilts also fall off quite easily if you attach them to the side skirts. On the flip side, the backpack attachment point is extremely snug. So much that if you pull the backpack out once attached, it will pull out the Windam's entire back with it. The missile's attachment point on the backpack is also a bit loose. It will stay there if you leave it alone, but some light pressure and it will fall off. The missiles themselves tend to split apart into two pieces, since their connection is also quite loose. The ankle joint is sort of alright. It can stand on its own, hold most poses, but will collapse on some extreme poses. It doesn't bother me too much, since I will be putting the Windam on a base stand most of the time. Finally, when holding the beam rifle, the sandwich hands will tend to split apart. As a general rule, I tend to use PVA glue to tighten mobile joints and clear nail polish for fixed joints. I pump a generous serving of PVA glue into the shoulder, wrist, and neck joint and assemble them while the glue is still wet. Then when the glue dries, it will create a padding that tightens up the connection while keeping the joints mobile. As for the rest of the fixed joints, I will slap one layer of nail polish, which should be enough to keep them in place. The backpack attachment point needs to be sanded down a bit so it can chill out a bit and not pull the entire back out, while the connection points between the back and the chest needs to be tightened with some nail polish as well. Spots that have nail polish should be left overnight to dry before reassembly. Finally, this is the XFS Jet Windam all panel lined up. If you're on a budget and would like to spam an army of Windam, the Xingfengshe bootleg option isn't a bad choice. The visuals are accurate, the building is generally smooth. However, be prepared for a bit of post-build touch-up to get the kit holding up and posing the way that you want it to. I would rate this kit Blue Shark. Very recommended if you're willing to put in the work. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this review helpful, hit that like and subscribe button for more model kit reviews and build guides. Let me know in the comments if you built this kit, if you came across the same issues, and how they turned out for you. If you enjoy the music that I made for this video, you can check out my other channel where I post all the music that I make. Until next time, happy building!